at her fix-it shop. She tries to make a robot, but she realizes that she's missing one part. She goes off to find it and brings it back and makes a full robot. After naming the robot Robo, 2 suddenly arrives with half of a sled. He asks 1 if she could find the other part in her fix-it shop. They go off to find the part of the sledge and they build it together. That's when blocks 1 and 2 find 3 looking for something. It's the third piece of her rocket. 1 shows 3 that she's missing the nose cone, and they actually find it thanks to Robo's help. Robo's my little goat now. They go back to the workbench and they fix it. Finally, 4 arrives claiming that he's missing one of the pieces of his board game. There are 4 pieces to it. The friends go look for it, and thanks to Robo's help, they find it. The episode ends off with them playing squares and ladders, which is just lovely. To me, it was an alright episode to watch. It was nice, the fun concept, and the thing is, there were loads of references, which I will do in another video if you want to watch that. But just for all the references in it, we will give that an 8 out of 10. Then we move on to Happy Campers, which is where all the 1x2 shippers come out smiling. The episode starts when 1 decides to come camping and suddenly gets surprised when she realizes 2 came with her. Then they do all the romantic stuff, share a blanket, 2 equal parts, share 2 equal apples, and then 2 wants to draw, so 1 gets out 2 crayons and 2 splits a piece of paper in half for them. They both draw 1 half each of the full picture. Then they head over to the camping grounds where they get 2 equal parts. No, they are not being in the same tent. Until 3 noisily comes in and claims that she's split the campsite into 3 equal parts when she clearly hasn't. 1 and 2 make it equal. They all have their equal parts now. And 3 lifts out the famous baguette. Oh, hi 4. How is this going to work, guys? Well, 2 splits the baguette into halves, and then 4 splits each part into halves, making it into quarters. Sleepy time has arrived, and 4 says that they can all sleep in his tent. Wow, after all that. This was a nice episode. Y'all can see how the shippers are just here doing whatever they can. I'll give it a 7. Now it's time for the mystery of Fraction Island, and this episode got nuts with all the new characters. So, let's do this. The number blocks are confused why the island is all in 4 equal pieces when the map shows only 1 hole. That's when they meet 1 hole, which says that they have to explore all the parts of the island to figure out the mystery. She says they need to find the fraction friends, but 2 is wondering what are fractions. That's until he meets the halves. The halves show him that 2 of them make a whole. That's when 3 and 4 decide to split up to find some more fraction friends. On the yellow part of the island, 3 bumps into the thirds, who show that 3 of them make 1 whole. And on the green part of the island, 4 bumps into the quarters. Actually, he finds 1 quarter but looks for the rest. They show him that 4 of them make 1 whole. Now, all of the fractions join together to make 1 whole, and the islands get connected back again. Mystery solved. I enjoyed the pirate feel of this episode and the fact that we had new characters. I'll give this an 8. 1 goes to a party at Fraction Island and she gives 1 whole an apple as a gift. And then the 2 halves just have a cake, and then it all suddenly becomes a sing-song. What I liked about this episode, it goes over the halves, thirds, and quarters and what actually a fraction is. They show the actual symbol, which I like, and then they go over the fractions don't end. They go over 5ths and 6ths and 7ths, no, 8ths and 9ths and even 10ths. I think the 7ths should look more colourful though, instead of just being violet. This episode expanded on what a fraction actually was, and it was alright, I guess. I'll give this one a 7. But now it's time for my favorite episode out of all of the new 5, Octonaughty and the Fractionator. The episode starts when the Octo alert goes off, saying that things were being randomly split up into fractions, all thanks to Octonaughty's new device, which lets him split things into fractions. He manages to split the entire Number Blocks Museum into half just to get his hands on the Golden Infinity, which would make him the most powerful number in all of the universe. He splits the glass cage into 2 and grabs it. Now, Octoblock is here. Octonaughty aims his Fractionator at Octoblock. He dodges it, which splits a statue into 2 wands. Then Octoblock manages to get his hands on the Fractionator and splits Octonaughty into 4 Terrible 2s. The Terrible 2s, though, outnumber Octoblock, and they build back up to make Octonaughty again. Now that Octonaughty got the Fractionator back, he tries to split 8 into Terrible 2s. Although, that's when 8 splits into the Terrific 2s, which was leaked at the Series 8 after party. They managed to get Octonaughty stuck in that glass cage and rescue the Golden Infinity. For this episode, I'm going to have to give it a 9.5. Anyway guys, what did y'all think about all these new episodes? Comment down below. And this is Numberblock Fun once again signing off.
This season, you've got places to go, people to see, and things to do. You may have already gotten vaccinated for
17 Plants vs. Zombies, 2 facts that you maybe missed. Before we start, my boy Sunbean is asking you to subscribe. Please click that subscribe button. It's free, and it will help me a lot. Did you know that you can heal a zombie? Well, the most obvious way is by just waiting for a healer zombie. You're right, but there's a plant that can heal a zombie. Normally the plants will hurt zombies, but there is a way to heal them. The plant that I'm talking about is Time Warp. Time Warp can create zombies and return all of them to their starting positions. Not many players know that if you return the zombies, it will also restore their health back to full HP. Well, armors are not included. You can see this if the zombie loses its arm. Just use Time Warp on this zombie. As you can see, its arm grow back. Make sure that there is no Jurassic Gargantua zombie if you use this plant. Because if you use 2 cherry bombs on this zombie, you need to use more explosive to defeat it. So, it's just a waste of sun. Well, everyone knows that garlic's only purpose is to redirect zombie to another lane. Garlic can also do this to your ally zombies if you use garlic's plant food. It works on zombies like zomboids, turkey pulse turkey, tiger grass, hypnotized zombie, and enlightened zombie. This makes sense cause zomboids, hypnotized zombie, and enlightened zombie are zombies, but it doesn't make sense as to tiger grass and turkey pult. I guess these plants are owned by zombie, Dave just steals it from them. Which Kina make crazy Dave the villain. It doesn't make sense as to tiger grass and turkey pult. I guess these plants are owned by zombie, Dave just steals it from them. Which Kina make crazy Dave the villain. And honestly, it starts to freak me out. Did you know that you can place any plant in the water of pirate seas? But the problem is it's kind of impossible. Well, if you try to plant on this water, the game won't let you do it. Even if you place floating plants like rutabaga or cauliflower. And the only way to do it is when the game is ending. So, if you hold a plant before the last zombie dies, you can actually place it on the water. However, this is useless because you can't make a good use for that. To some extent, it's still fun to do it. Excavator Zombie is the only zombie that can eat underground plants. The way this works is when Excavator Zombie loses its shovel. It is when Bramble Bush trap Excavator Zombie and quickly shovel that plant. Now we have a shovel-less Excavator Zombie. Despite that it looks like a regular zombie now, the main point is it can now eat underground plants that normally cannot be eaten by zombie. This looks absolutely absurd. It also makes a shoveling sound, even the fact that the shovel is gone. All things considered, now you can kill it by just using a pea shooter. Now it can be a less annoying, for sure. Snap pea is a combination of a chomper and pea shooter. So,